All right, so we're still waiting for the tram to come.
Yeah, we are.
As you can see, and Kenda has still lost her passport, and so she's going to try.
No, we've just been to the U.S. consulate. We actually have a new passport.
She has a temporary.
Whether
passport.
I make the plane or not is up for grabs.
And
but
so,
here
yeah,
we are talking
her
to you.
flight from Amsterdam to London leaves in an hour and
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
But
And we're going to see if we
talking
make
to
it.
you.
So, last question. I mean, what's the big? What's the
This is the second
to last question? Penultimate question, I should say. Is what's the payoff, or what's the big idea to take away from this book? And I think one of the things that both Kenda and I really want to assert, and we've been asserting to our students and the people we've been talking to, is that youth ministry is complicated, and that there's been this kind of folklore of youth ministry that's come out of some very talented communicators and gurus of youth ministry, but essentially we've all heard it, which is that youth ministry isn't complicated. It's just about loving kids and loving God. And I think Kenda and I are both trying to assert that actually, no, youth ministry is really complicated. Sitting with kids who are suffering certain issues, with body image, talking to parents about why their kid should be confirmed when they've never gone to church before, trying to discern with young people what God is doing in their lives is fundamentally complicated. I think it's beautiful, but it's complicated. So we're not trying to make this book obtusely complicated, and I guess you'll have to be the judge of that. But we're trying to assert that doing ministry is a complicated thing, and a complicated thing in its beauty and its wonder. And so yeah, it's not just about loving kids and loving God. I mean, at one level that's true, but at another level it's about discerning deeply what's going on with human beings and human action, and figuring out and finding lenses and ways to discern what God does in the midst of that.
So we still have time. I want to add one other thing that we hope from this, right?
Okay, yeah.
And from the book, I hope that you get some encouragement, because what you're going to witness in this book are ways that, frankly, Andy and I over the years have tried to theologically grapple with issues that have come up in our own ministries. How do you think about camp? How do you think about a lot of things that you...
Mission trips.
How do you think about the way you interact with kids just one-on-one?
How do you talk about sin with kids?
These are things that came out of our own ministries, and they're not prescriptive. They're not for you to copy. They're for you to say, oh, yeah, I've thought about that too. Mm-hmm. And so we're sort of thinking out loud with you, and we'd love to have you in the conversation.
Exactly, and I mean, in many ways, I think the way you learn how to think theologically is by watching someone else think theologically. So in many ways, all this book is watching two people think theologically about youth ministry, and we hope then you will think theologically, and that this won't be the way to think theologically, but it will be examples of people thinking theologically, and then you can go into your ministry and think theologically. And both of us, I think, will testify that it changed our ministry.
Right.
Hey, here's the tram. So let's hope Kenda makes it back.